Hello, everyone. This is Sunnie Lau, Director of Smart City Research and Industry Collaboration at the MIT Hong Kong Innovation Node. The MIT Hong Kong Innovation Node cultivates the innovation capacity of our students and helps strengthen the region's innovative ecosystem and keeps working together with MIT faculties, alumni, affiliates, and friends in the local community. So today we are very happy to have Professor Brent D. join us with this fireside chat. Professor Ryan is the head of the City Design and Development Group and Associate Professor of Urban Design and Public Policy in MIT's Department of Urban Studies and Planning. His research focuses on pressing issues like deindustrialization and climate change. Currently, he is conducting research in China, examining the urban design dimensions of emerging shrinking cities and the urban design futures of new town expansion projects. The Node is thrilled to have this partnership opportunity with Professor Ryan and launched the Hacking Kowloon East course early this year in January 2021. This field study and design workshop course includes a digital field workshop in Hong Kong and the spring course Urban Design Ideal and Action at MIT with the cohort. So welcome again, Professor Ryan. I know that you're currently conducting research on Chinese cities and also led MIT's China Urban Design Studio this year. So why Hong Kong this time, and what is this course about?
Thank you, Sunny. I'm very pleased to be here today. And I'm very pleased to be teaching in partnership with the MIT Hong Kong Node in the spring of 2021. We're working with Hong Kong for a variety of reasons. First of all, of course, Hong Kong is an active and vital city with an active innovation economy. But at the same time, the city has a number of under-resourced neighborhoods whose residents are unable to fully benefit from the city's transition to the tech economy. We thought we could apply some of the expertise that the City Design and Development Group and the Department of Urban Studies and Planning has in increasing equity and enhancing participation by conducting a workshop that looks at the intersection of equity, participation, social justice, and the digital economy. So we elected to make that the focus of the Hacking Kowloon East workshop this semester. And of course, we're very pleased to be working in partnership with the MIT Hong Kong Node. Always in the CDD group and at MIT, we'd like to work in close partnership with colleagues on the ground who are embedded in the local situation and have local expertise, and that's the MIT Hong Kong Node, of course. In this course, we have 6 students from various disciplines, and I'll talk a little bit more about them later, who are examining different aspects of the relationship between social justice and digital innovation in the Kowloon East neighborhood of Guangdong. And each of these students is proposing a project idea that we're hoping is implementable, and it could be implemented as early as this year. And we'll be publishing our ideas in a little while in June of 2021.
Certainly, the pleasure is ours. Hong Kong is certainly an active and vital city with active innovation economy. So maybe I can supplement a little bit more of the site selection, which is the Kowloon East, and it is the coming CBD2 of Hong Kong. So MIT Node has actually started the Kowloon East Inclusive Innovation and Growth Project in 2019 to 2020. And based on our research conducted in the Kwun Tong district, it is Hong Kong's poorest and most densely populated district and is currently undergoing a post-industrial transition to become the second CBD. And there are a set of socio-economic challenges faced by the underprivileged individual during this urban regeneration process. So as part of our Smart City Initiative pilot project, we are now in phase 2, carrying out a series of workshops and targeted to vulnerable groups with many local partners besides this academic course, and will continue our exploration in Hong Kong to set an example for other cities. So Brent, as academic and practitioner, we both understand that urban design is, of course, practice-based and thus involving intensive site investigation and analysis, et cetera, et cetera. So however, the pandemic last year set lots of restriction of travel and physical interaction. How did you come up with the idea to develop this virtual design course? And it is worth noting that students we recruited have diverse backgrounds, even from different time zones, schools, and programs. How did that happen, and what's the advantage?
I'm happy to explain that, Sunny. Of course, we remember the old saying that necessity is the mother of invention. And I think many professionals had to be extremely inventive once the COVID pandemic hit very swiftly in the spring of 2020. And at MIT, we had to transition very quickly to an all online teaching platform, of course, due to the COVID pandemic. At the time, I was teaching another urban design studio, and within that short period of time, we all learned to use various communication packages that we know very well today, like Zoom, Slack, etc. But we also found that shifting online actually enhanced our communications ability, particularly when we had strong partners in remote sites. And MIT and, of course, Hong Kong are quite remote from each other, although neither is actually remote. So we found that we could conduct virtual site visits and gather site data almost as well as if we were there ourselves. And in other words, we found that we couldn't stop engaging in urban design simply because we couldn't get to the site in person as we do traditionally, nor to the studio. The studios were closed, nor could we meet in person. Fortunately, our students are all very tech savvy, and although no one liked at first being stuck at home, we were able to make it work, and we were able to commit to an all-remote spring semester course in Hong Kong. Of course, the time difference is crazy. We had students and faculty in places as diverse as Brazil, Portugal, all over the United States, plus China, but we had fun, and we had a really, really good experience. And in the end, we learned that there are actually some advantages to the all online or remote digital design course arrangement. For example, we formed different relationships and closer relationships with people in Hong Kong, including with our in-person coordinator, who's worked with us all semester to visit the site, conduct interviews, and gather site data. So in the end, we've gathered, I think, a better level of information and closer relationships with our partners than we usually have with our in-person studios. And that, I think, is the most lasting advantage of the remote platform.
Okay, so back to another question for you, Brent.
Sure.
It is a big one. How can we help deepen the diverse cohorts we mentioned in understanding urban design ideals, which is suggested by the course briefing, and in creating pluralistic, equitable cities, as well as in promoting them to use technology to address some of the most challenging social issues, including aging, public health, and advancing the quality of our built environment?
I will. Thank you, Sunnie. And that is a big question. Of course, urban challenges are always ongoing and they change over time. And also over time, we, in a sense, raise the bar with respect to increasing resident participation and making solutions to urban problems better for all residents. So we're trying to, in fact, provide both a pluralistic perspective on urban design problems and solutions. One of the ways we do that with respect to the pressing social issues faced by Kwantong in Hong Kong is to work with students from diverse backgrounds. In other words, the students themselves represent a pluralistic perspective on the issue of design. In our hacking courses, this is the second one, Hacking Kowloon East, have attracted students from diverse areas of the MIT School of Architecture and Planning, including disciplines like architecture, urban planning, urban design, art, culture, and technology, and real estate, together with dual majors in computer science. Now, that's a long list of disciplines, and it's a powerful set of skills to apply to urban challenges. As a professor, I'm fascinated to be able to work with such diverse students and to see the perspectives they bring to urban problems. And I'm even more fascinated to see the wonderful sets of diverse solutions embedded in their different disciplines that they bring when they address urban problems. So with these very diverse backgrounds, I think we're very well prepared to provide a pluralistic perspective on challenging urban problems. So, in fact, I have a diverse background myself in architecture, urban design, and urban planning. And so I can also share a variety of my own disciplinary perspectives with students when I'm working with them. And I'd like to add that I'm not teaching this course alone. I'm working with you and an MIT PhD student in city design and development. And I very much enjoy working with younger faculty who possess additional diverse skills, such as smart cities, geospatial analysis, and other areas. So I think through these diverse perspectives, as long as we keep a consistent problem focus on applying smart city technology to addressing urban social inequality, we're going to succeed in generating a pluralistic range of ideas. Some of these include a strategic plan for increasing access and participation, as well as a form of public art infrastructure that addresses health. And we've also generated digital tools to better connect residents of Kwantong with their built environments to make the city easier and more comfortable to use.
Thank you, Brent. And it's our pleasure, and certainly my pleasure, to work with you again, because I'm also Brent's previous student back at MIT and trained as architecture and then going to urban design. So I certainly agree that diverse skills that the MIT students has been an advantage and strengthened our skill set to tackle many, many challenging issues around the world. Okay, last but not least, another question for you, Brent. The CBD2 Kowloon East as we mentioned, is anticipated a lot of opportunity as well as challenge. But not to mention, the district attract many enterprises of various size. So small and medium-sized enterprise. However, they have to face a lot of challenges, such as rising rent, brand promotion, and limited labor forces. Can you share with us the students' innovative solution to provide equal opportunities for these SMEs?
I can. Certainly, small and medium-sized enterprises are the most challenged sector of the Kwantong economy. In particular, it's a spatial issue. These enterprises are often located in out-of-the-way locations, and they're dependent on word of mouth or customer references to get their business. At the same time, both business owners and customers are comparatively low income, and so they're vulnerable to market shifts, such as is currently occurring in Kwantong. Additionally, we find that neither business owners nor customers are necessarily that familiar with the technology that could increase their revenue or productivity. So they're inhibited from increasing that revenue and productivity through a technology gap. Hacking Kowloon East is trying to address that technology gap, but we're taking the built environment as the variable of interest in solving this essentially socioeconomic challenge. Our question is, can we increase people's knowledge of the built environment and use the built environment as a lever to enhance business access to customers and customer access to businesses to make the built environment more productive and equitable for all? This is how we're attempting to address that. In reality, a large part of the problem is actually an architectural one. Many small and medium-sized enterprises are located in large industrial buildings that are often confusing, seemingly inaccessible, and they might inhibit customers from going in to access businesses. So as part of Hacking Kowloon East, we're developing graphic tools that make these buildings less inaccessible and make the businesses inside more accessible. In other words, we're using digital tools to reduce the perception of space and distance between small, medium-sized enterprises and their customers by changing perceptions of the built environment through these digital tools. I'll talk to one of these more briefly when we look at some specific images. We're developing both potentially for-profit and non-profit versions of these tools for implementation. And I think whether the tools are for-profit or non-profit is less important than ensuring that small and medium-sized enterprises receive the support that they deserve to thrive in Hong Kong's changing economy. And we see these digital tools that access the built environment as a lever for achieving that change.
Thank you, Professor Ryan. So would you like to speak to us about how these MIT students project that you mentioned has attempted to address some of the most challenging social issues that we speak about in Kowloon East?
Sure, and I'll give two examples of projects. One is more or less an all physical project, and the second is more or less an all digital project. And we'll see how both physical and digital projects can contribute to solving some of the urban challenges faced by Kowloon East. The first project that I'll speak about is called Afloat. Afloat is a physical project. It's a multi-dimensional bridge that aims to reinforce the health of both humans and the surrounding environment. And Afloat is located at the opening of the Kai Tak Channel, connecting the former airport runway to the South Apron Corner. And this is now the site of the first and only children's hospital in Hong Kong. The only permanent component of the Afloat proposal is a footbridge, and it provides a 200-meter walking route between the green spaces of the former Kai Tak runway and the center of Kowloon Bay. The bridge has a meandering form that creates a series of pockets that can hold a series of flexible and cheaply constructed floating structures. And these installations will be specified to host a variety of functions with a collective goal. The goal will be to improve the district's health. Some of these will include human-oriented spaces that promote an active lifestyle, that enrich cultural investigations, and all of them rechannel the calming power of water to provide a space for meditation and reflection, badly needed in a busy city environment. But Afloat also provides elements that look to improve the health of the natural environment and to connect the local community to that natural environment. Afloat does this through devices that monitor and clean the water, through biological intervention, and through art tech elements that visually communicate the monitoring of water below to distant viewers. Overall, Afloat creates an inspiring atmosphere that extends to the residents of the broader neighborhood, especially those located in the hospital. And I think in Kowloon East, this bridge provides an infrastructure that not only connects the community, but allows it to grow, change, and stay afloat in the dynamic waters of Hong Kong Harbor. Second project is a digital project called XYZ. The idea of XYZ emerged from asking a question: how might we empower Kwantong's local businesses more sustainably and innovatively to create a more inclusive society? That's really the key question of the Hacking Kowloon East workshop. Of course, urban redevelopment may be inevitable to improve the city's image and to deal with safety problems. But XYZ focuses on Hong Kong's heritage as a livelihood of shopkeepers, and XYZ is committed to preserving the Kwantong heritage in redevelopment. So XYZ digital platform has two goals. One, to enhance spatial orientation in vertical indoor environments, and two, to preserve the urban heritage of Kwantong. The concept of XYZ is an indoor wayfinding app. It uses augmented reality, or AR, to guide users through buildings to facilitate their interaction between small business owners and visitors. In other words, XYZ incentivizes locals to discover hidden but small businesses located in industrial buildings, and on the other hand, helps businesses to gain awareness from these local shoppers and residents. XYZ strengthens the connection between locals and small businesses, but it also aims to provide a social, inclusive, and enjoyable experience for locals and for users with features like store search, indoor navigation, a real-time store news center, and a chat service. So XYZ enables city dwellers to be co-creators of Kwantong's retail evolution, and also allows these residents to be part of the journey of preserving Kwantong's urban heritage and the livelihood of its shopkeepers.
Thank you, Professor Ryan, for this meaningful collaboration with the students' cohorts. And this Hacking Kowloon East experience certainly brings together a great wealth of knowledge exchange by all the domain experts and students together to promote smart, equitable urbanism in Kowloon East neighborhood in Hong Kong. And thank you again, your time to chat with us on these topics.
Thank you.
We're looking very much forward to many more collaborations to come. And thank you all for listening for our Fireside chat. Wish to see you guys in person and enjoy the rest of the program of the day. Thank you.
Thank you.